Hey guys, Deslater Magic here, and I am joined by Edwin the Magic Engineer and the legend Dan from Open Boosters. Oh yes, in one of the few interviews. I think I've maybe done one other interview in about 4,000 videos in about 8 years. But I thought, dude, I gotta start getting people on because interviews are the bomb. And you guys are the bomb too. You have a new YouTube channel where you're uploading like crazy cool content.
That's right.
Yeah,
We're
trying really hard to keep up with a better rate of posting videos. Like I was falling behind like crazy on my channel, and we both of us felt like we were so in a box with our channels. We kind of created a small universe, and so the purpose of this channel was to kind of break it out. And we're unhinged. Yeah, we can talk about any subject.
That's smart. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, if you want to go a little bit off the beaten trail, YouTube will just kill you because your subs won't watch it and they just won't show it to anybody. So.
Yeah, if I talk about Magic the Gathering, I lose subs, and if I open packs, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's who you've accumulated. It just is what it is. That was smart. So
right off the bat, too, we had really good view attendance. People were sticking around. Like for 10-minute videos, the average watch time was like 8 minutes or something like that. Like right off the bat, people were watching.
Not bad. Yeah, it works. So, hey, everybody, link in the description of this video. Check it out. You got to go sub to their channel. They're like OG old school Magic. I know a lot of people just assume because of my size that I've been playing Magic for 20 years. Nope, closer to, I don't know, 8, 9. So, yeah, Return to Ravnica. Yeah, Return to Ravnica. No joke, 2013. That's when I started playing.
I'm shocked by that, honestly.
Everybody is. Literally everybody. Everyone's like, remember when this? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would have sworn you were at least like 20 years into it.
No, not at all. Yeah, that shocks everybody because every other YouTuber has been playing forever. Yeah, I almost started playing in high school, but when I asked about the game, everybody who played it was a complete jackass. So I decided not to get into it. Yep, very unwelcoming, very rude, and didn't want to explain anything. So I was like, fine, screw it.
Wow. That is not the experience I had.
You know, actually, I heard a similar thing. Like, I actually got to go meet Steve Wozniak one time, which was really cool because I'm a tech guy. And he's like my god, right? Because he made computers, basically. And he was telling the story about how, like, people were telling him he needs to check out Magic because he likes nerd things, right? So he goes to this store, and he comes in with his wallet. So he's got, like, a lot of money. And this wasn't too far after the start, but he actually bought boxes of like beta, alpha, unlimited. He bought a whole set of beta, like all this stuff. And then he went home and he built a deck and he was all excited about it. And Wozniak himself comes to a local game store and he tries to play it. And everybody there was a complete douchebag. They made fun of him. They teased him. They gave him a hard time. So he went back home. He put his cards up in his garage and he just never saw them again until like 24 years later. Like when there was this whole deal that went on that I got to be involved with.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, yeah, like
he used to live in Wisconsin and go to my old local gaming store. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. Just magic douchebags in the store kicked out Steve Wozniak.
Oh my god, and he's so nice. He's so likable. What is their problem?
He should have been in Texas because everybody was nice back.
I've got a question for both of you. Are you ready? What is the wildest, crazy left field prediction you have, but that you still think will come true potentially in the MTG world in 2021?
Oh, in the MTG world, you flipped it on me.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
First, because I got to think.
Oh, we all know the moon will like somehow become sentient and start talking in 2021. Like it's been quite the year, but I think we're gonna top it.
We'll come out of the moon and start attacking us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's see.
I think I have something.
Magic together. I don't have anything. Go ahead.
Okay, so I've always kind of gone by a theory that, like, I used to say everybody eventually plays Vintage, and because all the sets would always rotate out, and so you go in as a new player, you spend all this money, you buy all these cards, and then you get busy with life for a while. You come back and like everything you have is banned and like not allowed anymore, which is irritating. And then you fall into this big bucket of like old cards, and now you're competing with everything else. So I used to like say everybody eventually plays Vintage. And so I used to like put money into the older cards because I figured those would be the ones that everyone competes against the most. That vision has now changed a bit. And I don't think it's that everybody plays Vintage. I think it's everybody plays EDH and everybody plays Eternal formats is the way I should say it now. So I think the prediction for the future, way off in the future, is like someday Wizards...
this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah. Well, anytime in 2021, but I guess, or after. I mean, the near future, the next couple years, maybe.
Okay, we'll have to modify it. Well, let me just get this one out, this thought, because I started it. Then I'll try to modify with one that I think is in the next year, couple of years. I think at some point in the future, Wizards of the Coast is going to screw things up so bad that they close their doors, which means everyone's in eternal formats, and then everyone is encompassed inside of this bubble of everybody's playing eternal formats. And then in that kind of scenario, very specific cards that are good inside of those formats are going to really rise in value. And it's going to be a real different kind of thing. And all these newer cards that have just been printed into toilet paper basically are just going to like fall away. And it's going to be like within like blocks, like people will play like the Mirage block, the Tempest block, the Urza's Legacy block or something like that. And they'll try to like recreate what those were. And the big cards in those will go up in value. But let me think about something that's like within this year.
Okay, I have something. So I think, well, I'm going to do with them within a couple of years. I think Wizards of the Coast is actually going to probably get rid of distributors at some point and only sell direct to consumer through like an Amazon or that kind of stuff, because it's an obsolete way of selling stuff. And I think what they should do is technically get with Amazon and form a way for businesses to actually buy direct from Amazon, which is direct from Wizards of the Coast. And this way they have it all in one place, so they can ship all their boxes to the Amazon warehouses and they can distribute from there, thus getting rid of all the distributors and the need for that. So that'll actually save them money in the long run. So that's one of my predictions. I think that's a good way for them to save money. And I think that would actually be beneficial to them. I also think they need to get rid of just regular draft boxes because they're competing with their own product. So I'm expecting them later in the year to not compete with product. They're going to put something special in every single box, and they'll get rid of the bottom tier box because it's not going to sell as well as the other ones.
Oh yeah, they should at least take a draft booster and make it the set booster with the art cards. I mean, there's no reason to have 3. I mean, it throws off the numbers, the rarity, the counts, the singles, everything. Nobody knows what to buy, what to open. I'm glad I got out of, running a store because got out at just the right time. I guess, I didn't think too hard about these questions, even though I wrote them, but I do have one. I think they'll try to clean house quicker and clean up from this standard disaster quicker and announce that they're going to a 6-month rotation and just let people whine and who cares, because the least number of people are playing paper right now. And in like almost every region, it's shut down. So it's like, nobody's going to be like, my deck, my lands. People would be like, oh, okay, I get to use my lands for 6 months less, whatever.
That's actually the direction I was going to go with my second option, but I was going to say it differently. I was going to say that they were going to spend more time in the development of the cards, so they have to do less bannings. But I think
that'll never happen.
I think that's effectively the result of what you just said. Because if they go to like 6-month rotation, then maybe that would hit the same kind of thing.
Yeah, well, with less card combinations, 2 less sets to have things come together into a broken combo, broken deck, it's a lot easier to play test. They would make more money by kicking cards out quicker. And with a max of 6 sets being legal instead of 8, you have a lesser pool, you have less powered decks. And I think that they just want to more quickly get rid of all the really powerful ramped up stuff, which right now looks like almost Keldheim is included in that. It's like, wow, they're looking at late 2023 to get rid of, flush this stuff out. And that's if they started lowering the power right now. So if they lower the power for 4 more sets, those sets are going to sell like crap. So they back themselves into a corner pretty bad.
For you, do you think that they're ramping up the power levels like this because they're not good at design, or do you think it's intentional just to move cards?
It's intentional.
Oh, it's intentional. I mean, there's no way that they are that incompetent. I think they were like, this might be a little push. This might be a little dangerous. And they said, yeah, but we're designing for Commander and Standard now, because they openly said we're designing for other formats for Eternal players because it's not fair to release a product that's not for everyone. That was the ridiculous statement.
Whatever to the Wizards.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't disagreeing with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're clearly like, hey, this is a problem, and then upper management says, shut up. Good, it'll sell. Great.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the 6-month rotation. If they actually do that, What I think they should do from a money perspective is make a huge set, like way beyond the normal Legend set, like maybe a double set,
700 card set or something like that.
Because that would sell boxes. You can't just buy one box to get the set.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really hard to collect, and that means it would move more boxes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you see what they're doing at the end of the year, though?
No.
What?
A double, it's like a 2-set block, but released at the same time. So they're gonna have werewolves and they're gonna have vampires, and it's 2 separate sets, but they're released at the exact same time. So theoretically, the set would be huge.
So when they're released at this, they each have their own box, though, right? So if you buy
they didn't confirm that, but it's 2 different set symbols, so that's the theory.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, if they put the same box, then it would be.
That'd be interesting. My idea. It would be. It'd be like one large set, effectively, even though they're technically 2 sets.
That would move boxes like crazy.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, it would make the opening the boxes more interesting.
Well,
as long as they're
going to buy the more powerful, more valuable one. Like it's just, one's going to get stuck on store shelves and one won't. You can't do that.
I'm saying if they put it in the same exact box.
Oh, that's true. That's true. If you didn't know what you were buying, you're like, oh, this is a werewolf box. Oh, I didn't even think of that. That would be interesting.
And they did like the Legends with the A and the B, although Legends was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even think of that, but I mean, maybe it'll be pack by pack, Not even like you're getting an all werewolf one. It's like, oh, half the packs in the booster box will be this and half will be that.
Well, that'd be terrible because then you could pull them out and sell the ones you don't need.
I guess. Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of loose boosters for the bad one.
Werewolves and sell all the rest of it. Yeah, like a form of box mapping, effectively.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
I just wonder if the set will be like normal sized and then they split it in 2, or if it will be like huge, like 500 cards.
Well, I'm hoping it's huge because that'd make it a little more interesting. If it's not, then
honestly, all I care about is I just want to hear that there's no bannings and then like people are playing huge amounts of different decks. That's all I want. Nice. My greatest desire with Wizards of the Coast is that people have you go to a tournament and there's 30 different decks that could win the tournament.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. I want to go back to the times where you could come up with any competent deck and kind of know what you're doing and bring it and have an 80-90% chance to win because everything was so low powered that it was leveled. Like where if you know what you're doing, you can just pick anything because then people build 5 decks. They don't build 1 deck for a ton of money and just, nothing else can compete. I can't win with anything else. This isn't even a deck building game. I mean,
the closest I see to that is old school format. And that's one reason I love that format so much.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that's a format you've seen very much or you've done very much with.
Isn't it it's just limited to the first couple sets that came out and then that's that?
Yeah, it's basically like Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, Revised, all those base sets. But then you've got Arabian Nights, Legends, Antiquities, The Dark, and for some Fallen Empires.
Okay.
So you've basically got kind of 5 sets because ABU and Revised is kind of the same thing. But then they also say you can't do different artwork reprints, but you can do the same artwork reprints. So they could be a white border, Revised, Birds of Paradise is perfectly fine. But here's the thing though, this is why I like that so much. That format, I've never seen the diversity in any other format like I've seen there. We're doing an old school tournament now that has 300 players called the Winter Derby. I guarantee you there's 80 different decks that are genres of decks. Cow. And nobody has any idea what's going to make top 16. Nobody knows.
That's amazing.
In the last Derby, we had 260 people, and a budget monocolored black deck made top 8. Actually, this is against Moxes and Lotuses and everything else.
Well, that's the thing is the format sounds expensive as hell unless people are just yay, proxies. But
did the black deck have any power?
No, the black deck was unpowered.
Yeah.
It was a budget deck that made top 8 out of
nice.
250 people going toe to toe with the deck and Twiddle Vault and everything that's got all these power cards and stuff. So it's kind of a yes and a no. If you want to play this genre of deck, your deck might be $50,000 to $100,000. If you want to play this genre of deck, $200.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's crazy, because you'll sit down, you'll see an $80,000 deck get taken to school by a $1,000 white weenie creature deck with just a couple dual lands in it. Right?
Awesome. They should have just banned the Power 9, but I mean that's what people played back then, and it wasn't too OP.
In this format, they're not that OP. They don't cause win, and that's kind of that's the thing that people don't understand. The Power 9 in Vintage is insane because it's coupled up with like Yawgmoth's Will,
Yep.
Force of Will, all these other things. In Old School, they're actually pretty balanced. So you can play a deck totally unpowered. Well, like you could definitely play a totally unpowered deck and expect to make top 80% out of 300 people. You could definitely expect
That's
that.
so nice. That's because, there was a lot of vanilla and like, French vanilla cards, and that's just what you played with. And, I get it, power creep, 20 years, whatever. But like, I have played Chandelar, so that was like the first couple sets. And I'm like, dude, I'm playing with like a Black Lotus in my deck and I'm getting my ass kicked by the AI. Like, this is kind of sad.
Yeah, see, you play a Black Lotus in Old School, and like, what are you going to do with it? Okay, I cast my Jazam, it hits the table. And then the guy's like, hey, isn't that cool? You played a Black Lotus and a Jazam. That's already like $30,000 you laid on the table. Look at this. Plains, Swords to Plowshares.
Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, it's on. And it's a 2-to-1 card advantage too, right? Yeah, and that's the point. Like, so those power cards get balanced out. Or you drop all these Moxes on the table, and the other guy is like, hey, isn't that cute? That
barfing on the board.
Yeah. Then the other guy's like, isn't that cute? Energy Flux. Suck on that. Right? So like that happens in that format. But see, that's the point. I think it can be very expensive, but a lot of people don't know how diverse that format is. And that's the crazy part of it.
Yeah, everybody's saying that's the hot thing, is to go back to when they really carefully balance the cards and they stop coming up with stupid, crazy, wacky ideas. It must have been before they hired Mark. I mean, he was only there since I think like 18 years ago or something. I don't remember. He got in there pretty late, actually. But
I think that's really the trick. You really nailed it. It's that they spent more time balancing the sets before they came out. Now, what they did also do, though, is some of the cards in those older formats are just stupid. Like Farmstead. Like, I've literally never played Farmstead, and I probably never will. It's just terrible.
I did put that in the deck because I needed an extra card for white.
Oh, I will get physically violent if somebody plays Charizard.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. You should play Edwin. You love Charizard.
Yeah, I actually love that card.
Oh, you'll get comments from the judge walking by at the turn, like, really? You guys are just going to go to time? Is that what you're doing?
That's actually played in a deck people call Story Time.
Oh,
it's
no.
all like lightning bolts, chain lightnings. It's all like quick damage. And so you like throw a bunch of bolts at their face and then you cast Sherazad and you go into a sub game. And what's cool about the sub game is like all the cards that were in the original game, those are out. So if you're playing a combo deck and you're like, I need my Mirror Universe to win, you're going to lose. Because it's in the pile of cards that's outside.
Yeah, and you could just zap them. Zap, zap, zap. Second game's over. Boom.
And the Charizard is like, if you win the sub game, it's 10 damage in the original game. So if you're throwing lightning bolts and stuff at the guy's face and then you Charizard, then there you go. You're going to win.
I guess even Charizard wasn't that bad of an idea back then without combinations with dumb cloning, spell cloning, storm crap. Ugh.
Well, it can go bad. Like if you played it in like a stasis deck or something terrible,
oh my god!
Then like you're not in your 50-round limit. You're gonna get one game and you're not gonna finish it. So
one of my friends, it lasted for 6 straight hours.
Yeah, your anger is mostly valid.
That's an awful deck. Well, not that deck. He didn't have lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Well, we did touch on this. Do you think that Standard can recover, if ever? Like we're talking before Wizards goes bankrupt due to the damage?
Fortunately, I like Standard. I do. I play Arena all the time. And so I really do actually like Standard, and I enjoy it. The games are actually quite fast and that kind of stuff. You can pretty much determine who's going to win by at least turn 8, but the fun part is actually trying to convert it back to your win. I actually do like Standard.
I would play Standard if it was more balanced. That's the only thing that keeps me out. When I hear people saying like, "Oh, you got to play Oko," or just like forget it, go home, that's I lose all of my interest right there.
That's not really the truth, because I mean there are cards that are super powerful, but you just try to gear your deck to destroy all the powerful cards, and you pretty much start going up in rank really quick.
Well, but let me clarify my point. If the entire format is warped around one deck or one card, I lose a whole bunch of interest to play that format. And the more that warping happens, the less interested I am. And that happened a lot in like the last few years, which has kept me away from Standard. But the more Wizards of the Coast balances the cards and you see a larger variety of tier 1 decks, that brings me in. Because my thing is I like to design a deck and then show up and actually do good.
That's why we need to Wizard of the Coast needs to go see our other idea.
Yeah, you need to be CEO.
Yeah, I do need to be CEO.
I don't know if you've seen it. He wears this like Wizards of the Coast hat and pretends to be CEO all the time.
I gotta get caught up on the playlist of Watch Now or Watch Later, and you guys are like half of it. So I've just been working too much. I'm trying to get like 2 other businesses going and stuff because Magic's declining and my views are declining. Everybody in the Magic world on YouTube is declining, and now ad rates are declining after December. So I gotta find something. And my other 2 jobs are just killed because of COVID. They're just dead. So I'm gonna have to start robbing banks or something. I played a lot of GTA 5. I feel like I've got some good practice in.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of finance videos. It's a huge side hobby of mine. I love the topic. And yeah, the American economy is destroyed right now. The stock market is not the economy. It doesn't reflect the reality of Main Street.
Correct.
Main Street is destroyed right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many people out of work, and there's so many people furloughed, missing their rent, missing their mortgage payments, missing their car payments. And like I feel like that still might come to a head here pretty soon because there's all of this like giving people more time and giving them loans to make all these extra payments. That's going to come to an end at some point, and then people are going to have to like start
make decisions.
Yeah, making some pretty hard decisions.
Yeah, I think, people got through the Great Depression. Okay, whatever. They started growing stuff. They started doing side hustles. They recruited their kids to do illegal child labor, which is probably legal at the time. It's like, whatever, you do what you got to do. But people, they're like all these dumb millennial city folks. Oh, they're going to take it so bad. Yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, people are like, what do I have to do? Okay, I will do this. I will learn to do this. I will do that. I will sell this. I will move. Okay, whatever, It's not like they'll just go berserk. Some people will, but...
I think you're exactly right. That's what a lot of people are realizing they have to do now. They have to start looking around and saying, okay, my reality is now...
Should we make another YouTube channel?
Yeah, my reality is not necessarily what I thought it was. I'm going to have to get up some extra income streams. I need to start building up some skill sets. And you just got to do what you can. Yeah, I think that is happening in droves right now.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's picking up side hustles. Even the last 3 years, people have been doing it. Everybody where they're like, they're retired or their wife doesn't normally work. They're like, yeah, I'm doing this little thing on the side, doing something for Etsy, doing some, gardening and selling stuff at the farmer's market. And then they scale it up when they realize, hey, wait a minute, just eBay resales, thrift shop rating, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to ask it. It's on the list. Here we go. Seriously... have never found out, because there's no wiki page on you that I found, where did Open Boosters Dan get all those old ass boxes? Since I started the Magic World, all I've seen on YouTube is, there's some guy and he has all these expensive boxes worth like $1 billion. Where did those come from? How did you get them? Who did you rob?
Funny stories.
There's the first part. I back in 1993, I was buying and trading cards, and I had boosters for cards and cards for boosters, and I piled them up. All right, and so like 93, 94, 95, I was acquiring and having fun trading and that kind of stuff.
Was that like mostly sports cards back then, or were we talking like TCGs I'd never heard of?
This is just Magic the Gathering. It's comic books and Magic the Gathering, and then I was moving, and I piled them into a box, okay? Loose boosters and some revised boxes, piled them into a box. I put my playable cards in another box. Okay, I labeled the boxes, and apparently, because they're big boxes, and apparently I labeled one of the Magic the Gathering boxes dishes. That got all of my boosters in it.
Dishes.
I labeled the other one. I don't know if I labeled it twice, Magic the Gathering stuff, or not, because as Emma can attest to, I'm a very organized person. Wouldn't you agree to that?
No. No.
I am very organized.
No. Love you, man, but no.
Still to this day, I am perfectly organized. Anyways, I keep my stuff. I'm like a hoarder kind of thing. I carry my stuff everywhere I go. And so I had my playable cards and I was able to play with them, and I thought, well, I must have trashed my boosters. That's a good assumption.
Because you hadn't seen them for years, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I moved from apartment to apartment. I kicked my box of dishes, which is supposed to be Tupperware. Boom! All right, because I was mad because it was so freaking heavy. Who thought it was that freaking heavy? I was wrong. There was a big giant dent.
The box said dishes on it. Why would you kick it?
It was heavy. I dented 2 revised boxes in that box. I called them al dente once I found them again. But I put them. So my wife told me, you got to clean out your garage, and because we have a kid coming, you got to get rid of some of your stuff. I went, fine. I always open my stuff and I look at it. I open it and the box of dishes, expecting maybe my Burger King glasses are in there. And I look down inside and there they are. A bunch of loose packs and a bunch of revised booster boxes. All right?
The loose packs of Beta.
Loose packs
Oh
of Beta.
Gosh.
Beta, loose packs of Arabian Nights, loose packs of Antiquities. I had 1 box of Legends in there. And then I had like 4 or 5 boxes of revised there. And 2 of them were dented because I kicked the crap out of it. But that's not the point. But the point is I found this. And that was in 2013.
That's one of the stories.
Okay. Now let's rewind a little bit. It's 2007. Or 2008. 2008 or 2007. Something like that. All right. So I go out drinking with friends.
Yeah, this is going to be a good story. So, like, 3 guys walk into a bar, right? It's it's going to begin. It's going to go somewhere.
Okay, so
drinking
with friends, and I start reminiscing about old times and old friends. Well, all my old time friends that played Magic the Gathering, well, they're not around me anymore. But I was reminiscing about that. Apparently, I was scrolling online in the middle of the night, drunk as a skunk, like blitzed out of my mind. And you know what they had online on Troll and Toad?
Buy one, get one free alpha.
They had an Arabian Nights booster box.
I remember seeing those booster boxes because I remember drilling on those things.
They had an alpha starter brick.
Oh.
They had the unlimited booster box.
And you had a credit card.
They had a beta booster box.
Damn.
And I bought them all.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Now, when I drink really bad and really hard, I don't remember anything. So I didn't remember any of it. But I know it happened because about a month later, I got a credit card bill in the mail. And I also got boxes in the mail.
You're like, what the
And I looked at the date and I went, oh, that's the date I went out drinking. That makes kind of sense.
Well, for both of them, how long ago was it? Like, were they like $50,000 or were they still reasonable?
They were okay. So the alpha brick, I believe, was like 10 grand.
Oh my God.
The
and this
beta
is
booster was
this is an alpha starter brick,
grand.
mind you, like 10 starter
10
decks
starter decks.
sealed in a brick.
And the Arabian Nights was like 6 grand, I think, like that, around there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a big bill for me at that time. I mean, I was okay. So I'm cheap, all right. So I'm one of those
Except for that.
Except for that, I'm drinking. I'm loose. I'm spending money. But I am a very cheap person, built internally. Back then, even though I had a good paying job, I would ask people for shoes that had the same shoe size because they were going to throw them out. And I figured, well, the sole is not done, so I could have those shoes. And if you wear the same size shirt, I could probably use that too if you're done with it. So I live relatively cheaply. That's my brain motto. So, but at that point, when you're drunk, you just, you charge it. But then when you get an Arabian Nights booster box and a beta box and the alpha starter brick in the mail, you don't return it. Because if you return it, you don't have it anymore. And now that
exactly. It's like, well, okay,
Of course, keep it.
You just keep it.
It's an investment now. I mean,
I wasn't married, so who's going to argue with me?
Oh, there you go. That's the other. Yeah. Otherwise, that would have been going back. That would not have been your decision.
No, that would have been my decision. I would have been having to send that back.
The cheap living is still kind of part of it. Remember, like, we just drove up to see Rudy like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We show up in his driveway and he comes out and he was like, "You guys came in this?"
Yeah.
Dude, that's how I live, man. I don't care how much money I make in a year or how much money I don't make in a year. I've been high, low. I mean, you look at my history of tax returns, it is a comical roller coaster. Although it's trending low lately. But you want to hear the exact opposite story? Because you probably missed this one on my channel. In 2011, I sold what would today be about $50 million worth of Bitcoins. I sold it for $400. Didn't even keep one single Bitcoin in my wallet.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, God. I'll tell you
I
what.
had well over 100 Bitcoins and I had 300,000 Litecoins. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Well, technically, some of them were lost when I think I got my money out of MT Gox, but 45 Bitcoins were lost when Trade Hill shut down. So the other half, I was so pissed, I'm like, fine, screw it. Sold them all for about a year-long high of like $5.20 per Bitcoin. Yeah.
Oh.
And then the Litecoins were on a super sketch website that shut down and just, I guess, ran off with everybody's money, got hacked. I don't know what happened to them. There was some no-name exchange. They were just the very first one to take Bitcoin Litecoin exchanges. And the reason I was going to buy the Litecoins for like, I think I had like 1 or 2 or 3 Bitcoins laying around and I was going to buy the Litecoins with it. So I did. And then I was going to drop them into my wallet and just keep them forever. Cause I thought I can buy so many of them. I'm like, oh, what's Bitcoin going to hit? $15? I don't care. What is that? $1,000, whatever, you know? And so I thought these, I'm going to sit on like 500,000 Litecoins for like ever. I'm just going to leave them in a wallet and forget about it. The reason I couldn't is because for the Litecoin protocol, they cloned the code. And you couldn't run the Bitcoin app and the Litecoin app at the same time on the same computer. So I just left them on the exchange and never withdrew them.
Oh.
Yep. Otherwise, I'd be sitting on a wallet file full of, I mean, that was the majority of it. I mean, what, 90, 100 Bitcoins or 45 Bitcoins is worth like not that much today. I mean, 30 grand a piece. But the Litecoins, what are they, 1,000 a piece right now? I mean, I would have had, there's 30 million right there. So that sucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one of mine. So I had Tesla stock at $14 a share.
Oh.
Okay. So I had tons of it.
Uh-oh.
Right. Then I decided, hey, they went up to $34. Sell it. The next day they went up to $100.
Oh.
Now they're, insane. But
So the closest one I can come to that is when Facebook IPO'd. They IPO'd at $40 a share.
Yeah.
And they dropped, and I was watching it because I knew how good Facebook was and that it was going to go somewhere. It dropped down to $23 a share, and I put $76,000 in, and I bought Facebook at $23 a share.
Ooh.
And I was like planning on holding it. That was my plan because I kind of saw how they were, even at that time, they were integrated into everything, right? And so then what happened though was that was like all the money I had to invest at that time. And then the market went from 23 a share down to 21, and I panicked because I put so much money in and then I lost like such a big chunk just like that. And so like I panicked and then I sold. And then now it's like, what is it, $400 a share?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to Elon Musk to invent a time machine, and then I'll go back and keep all my Bitcoins and double down and buy some.
I did have crypto.
A paradox, though. You're going to destroy the continuum.
I don't care.
I did actually get into crypto, but I didn't get in as early as you did. I bought my first Bitcoin, I think, for $300, and I was mining Litecoin when they were around $14, somewhere about there.
I have never owned a Bitcoin or any coin. Terrible.
Oh, yeah, we had to move all the Magic the Gathering card boxes at my shop because we set up 3,800 watts worth of GPUs, and it was the middle of December. It's like 10 degrees out, and we had the door propped wide open. And people are like, "Why do you have the door propped open?" We're like, "Because we're blasting like 4,000 watts of Bitcoins into your face." It was like 80 in there. It was so hot.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a lot of money though. Every time I got into Bitcoins just for a little bit opportunistically, mining's hot right now, this is hot, whatever. I made like 1 to 2 to 3 grand. I mean, we had ASICs running for one thing. I made 1,500 profit, then sold them. And, okay, so I made money, but never anywhere near what it should have been. Like, oh, that just pisses me off to even talk about it. But
well, I actually think it's going to eventually collapse back down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's only propped up by the price of electricity and paranoid investors and, all that. So, well, that'll lead me into the final topic. Do you think with all the Magic cards going up, is it a good time to get into singles, or did people just totally miss the train on it?
It depends what singles.
Oh, definitely. I suppose, yeah. I mean, are we even talking playable singles? Are we talking graded? I mean, that's like 2 completely different products. Yeah.
I think once it's all said and done, once the days of Magic are kind of past us for the most part, it's all going to be...
How are they going to be passed?
Well, like to some extent, you get the idea of what I'm saying. It's all about the old original cards for the most part.
Yeah, they only get older, they only get less. That's why I'm thinking graded old alpha beta. Yeah. Once it goes up, it's real hard to go back down.
Just the graded, but when you look at the actual supply of there's only 1,000 alpha rares that were printed, right? Yeah. When you look at the quantities that get printed today, who knows, what is it? Probably 4 million of each rare, 20 million of each rare.
There's a big
That's
difference.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Supply and demand and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So even you go to something like Unlimited, there's only like 15,000 of each rare that were printed in Unlimited. That's really not very many. And like those numbers, they're just like, they're a hair on the head of an entire creature that's like now a Magic current set. It's so small. And those are the original legendary cards, and they're protected by reserve list and all those other things. So I think singles, yes, but I think it's the old original cards.
I still think that Wizards of the Coast should actually print all the freaking proxies. I'm sorry.
I want them to print proxies. I want proxies.
Because I want them to actually have tournaments in those proxies.
Yeah, I want people to play the formats. I want them to say, here is a proxy, and everyone to just accept it, and then we can all play these formats together. I want that too.
If you bought HP cards for Moxes right now, I think that would be actually a good investment as far as singles are concerned, because those playables will go up in value as people demand to have them.
Yep.
What about even staples? What about like fetch lands right now? That's like the staple for every format.
They're printing the shit out of them.
Okay, so Modern Horizons is coming out, and they're going to be in rare format, right? So your enemy fetch lands are coming out, and so they're going to just keep printing them to death.
I think literally, like, Wizards is watching. They won't admit it, but they're watching the secondary market, and every time there's cards that spike up in the secondary market, that's a card that they're going to use to be like their lead, the lure to lead you into buying that new box or something like that.
Which I always say as CEO, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, they're cashing in on their own success, their own rarity, and their own popularity of their own game. It's like, why should they let middlemen collect it? I say they invented the card. If they want to print it again and knock it from $100 down to 50, go for it.
I'm not saying that in judgment. I'm saying, like, if a person thinks they're going to buy fetch lands and then they're going to be worth something years later, I think honestly their direction is down.
Yeah, it's got to, it's going to go up and down with every single reprint. So it's more about when you sell it than just these are going to go up 20%. Period. It's just like buying guns and ammo. Every 4 years there's an election. Everybody gets scared. Everybody buys them up. You could buy and sell guns before and after every election, and that could be your entire business, and you could sit home doing nothing the rest of the time. It's like that lucrative.
Yeah, a very real thing is like when a new format comes out, and like when Old School came out, like there was a big rush into these cards, right? Then like Middle School format started getting big, and like the Ice Age Alliances format started getting. But when these formats come and they get players around it, that's when the demand spikes for those cards. So yeah, that can just ebb and flow over time as people create all these new formats, right?
Yeah. What do you think about like $50 to $100 cards on the reserve list? So we're talking they're definitely not getting reprinted, but they're definitely not like $10,000 Power 9 or whatever, So
what's the question about?
To buy them right now, because I heard that's what people are targeting is the reserve list kind of mid-range stuff, and then those cards are insane right now. And I thought, well, if the demand isn't real and it's all investors, then they're all going to unload them. I wouldn't touch it.
So they're probably going to go up, but honestly, what I think would be a better purchase is like if you were going to look for like a collector's edition lightning bolt, for instance, I think is a far better purchase.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Because collector's edition, like a lightning bolt is just as rare as a Black Lotus because there was one of each card in the collector's edition sets, which means there's not a lot of collector's edition lightning bolts. People want 4 of them. They are literally printed with the beta print sheets. And everyone who wants to play with an original Christopher Rush lightning bolt in its original artwork and the original beta-looking frame, that's what you got. And there's not very many of them.
Yeah, so even Judge promos, I've never seen them go down ever, I don't think. I mean, it's like, what reason would they have to go down? I guess the reprint, but not really. That almost makes them go up. It kind of brings it to people's attention, and then they're like, oh, there's an expensive edition. Ooh.
Yep. The limited print, limited edition, original cards that are highly playable, I think are a far better target.
Well, you know what I would invest heavily in? There's a hot new product on the market. I don't know if you've heard about it. So they had the premium decks. They had the Fire and Ice, and they had the Graveborn and a couple others. So some crazy YouTuber named Desolator Magic took a whole bunch of those foil lands, put a bullet through them, and then mailed them out to all of his Patreon supporters. And so now there's only about 50 of them in the entire world. Maybe 60, maybe 70. The real question is, how did I get my hands on that many when I only had one of each? It's very odd, unless, I don't know. But I bought them out from a collection. Somebody sold me the collection. I said, can I just give you market price for these lands? I'm going to keep them. And I kept them for like 5 years. And then I put a bullet hole through them because they're still worth 16 cents a piece. I'm kind of pissed. They look amazing too, but they're curled as hell. And now they've got an AR-15 bullet through them. So
did you go through all 50 in one shot?
Yep. I was so nervous because I'm using a $40 True Glow non-magnified piece of crap, and they wouldn't let me use it less than 25 yards because you can't use a rifle caliber on the short range. And so I'm doing all these practice shots, and it's freezing cold. I sighted in the optic at like 80 degrees in like July, and so it shrunk. All the optics shrunk, all the housing shrunk, and my first round was like a foot off. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna take my entire mag to dial this in. And then even then it was shooting like a 1-inch group, and I'm like, I have to hit this. I have to hit this in one shot. I can't clip it.
And one group is not terrible, but if you're trying to get right in the middle of that card, that's not great.
Yeah, I mean, if you see the pictures that I sent out, ask any of my Patreon supporters, they'll send you a picture. It wasn't that far off. It was, if I was using my 22, I would have hit that thing within 1/8 of an inch, but, that thing has a 9x scope on it, so. Yeah.
Nice job,
it was not bad, I guess. Plus, we got some defaced Sharpie cards from Commander Legends. Only a few of those exist. They're pretty rare. Oh, yeah. That's some fine quality artwork from somebody who can barely draw stick figures.
We should. I've got an AR-15. We should go make some rare cards.
Do it. I mean, people have done stuff like that before. So.
Yeah. Alpha do that.
Shoot through an alpha? Oh, Farmstead. I will shoot a Farmstead.
No. You can't shoot Farmstead.
No, I will shoot Farmstead.
Shoot Shahrazad. Nobody would call you out.
Not my Shahrazad.
That would kill you, though.
No, I want my 4, and then you can shoot any other Shahrazad you want.
There's a specific Shahrazad out there where somebody did an altar, turned it into Charizard, and I think that's the one where people absolutely went ape on them, saying, "Why would you destroy such a expensive card?"
Sorry, I think I enjoy the humor in that one.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. Come on, yeah.
Did they call it not Charizard but Charharazard? Yeah, something like that.
I think they might have only done the artwork and they left the title, which is, I guess, also a no-no for altars. I don't know. I never got into altars. Whatever.
I don't know anything about altars.
Yeah, I don't care.
That you sacrifice goats on, right?
I do sacrifice goats. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't exactly secret, but for anybody who watched this far into the video, I was trying to get this all year, and now COVID just ruined it because they have to be made in China. I'm just not dropping $1,000 on it in America, and that's not going to happen. So, all my Patreon supporters eventually are going to get a solid metal, either gold plated or like titanium powder coated or just really convincing aluminum anodized gold colored solid metal, like imitation Magic card, but I know what their patent says. I know where the frame can be and the font can be, and I know what I can and can't do. So it's going to be a very non-convincing token with Mr. Pickle on it. What? Is that a solid gold Lotus? Oh my god.
Just like that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's got the laser treatment on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in like a little sleeve right now.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, whoever made that wizard should like go after their ass because that's like super illegal. But
we're all over eBay.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, usually they can get eBay to shut it down. Etsy, that's a free-for-all. That is counterfeitville right there.
It is, for sure.
Oh, man. But yeah, as soon as I can get them, I just got to get them custom made. But I got to dodge all the scammers, and I got to get somebody who can ship it like DHL with a reasonable amount of time. Because I'm still fronting like $200 to get them made, but it'll be pretty cool. Because it'll probably be like dye sub printed on solid metal. So I could have gotten metallic paper thick ones in America from like iPrint. I'm like, nah, man. If we're doing metal, we're doing metal. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. Make it look really good too.
Hey, gonna be metal.
Yeah. I've even got a proxier because obviously I can't send that in an envelope, So I'm sending it in a bubble mailer, which has a tracking code, which will track back to me. So I got a proxier I send him a box. He brings them to his post office. I give him $200 cash, and he mails them out. And it's not even going to be in Wisconsin. So, Yep. So that's how you do it. I mean,
so this has been pretty fun.
Yeah. We got through the 4 major questions that people are dying to know. No, I just made them up. I didn't
So,
take
so
requests.
you actually you associate with Perp a lot, also, right?
Oh, you bet.
So he's actually going to be joining us on our live stream on Saturday at 4 p.m.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
I sent him an old school deck made out of proxies, but he's got an old school deck, and he's going to join us, and he's going to play on the live
That's
stream.
so cool. Have you ever made the most obnoxious proxies ever? Because that's going to be one of the next week's videos where you just acetone job a foil and then get out a Sharpie.
Well, that's what he does.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Hell yeah. Come on, I knew one of you was classy enough to pull that move off.
He just grabs a Sharpie and defaces a land. That's what this guy does.
Yeah,
You
really
actually, like, if you take the ink off of it, like, you rub all the ink off of the Mylar or whatever, those cards are so bright under fluorescent lights, you literally need, like, sunglasses to play. And one time I showed up with a whole line of 24 goblin tokens that were all just blanked out foils with all the ink rubbed off. And people were just like, I literally can't see what the board state is. Like, I don't know what's going on. That was awesome.
Under the right lighting conditions, I can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got to play in candlelighter. It's hazardous to your eyesight. You might get snow blindness, but like foil blindness.
So you should show up and just be like, here's my shades. Like everyone else is like, oh, God, I can't see.
Yeah, well, you guys got to do like dumb arts and crafts crap like that, man. I watch that. That'd be crazy.
Not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, I suck at arts and crafts.
Dumb.
I
We
can't
could
draw
call
anything.
We could call it dumb arts and crafts.
Okay, yeah, I
Oh,
dumb.
You got to do the Desolator original, where you take a foil, you put it in the microwave for exactly 4 seconds, and it gives it a special electrical treatment. You will be amazed at what it looks like. It's so wild.
And the AR-15 treatment, too.
Yes, blow them away.
Well, thanks a lot for doing this tonight. I had a really good time.
Oh, thank you. I gotta find more gifts and stuff. I never ask anybody for cool collabs or something. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll get Mark Rosewater on. That when I said in my Discord, I'm like, I'm doing a really cool interview. It was just a stock ticker of Mark Rosewater ? I'm like, yeah, that's who it is.
That's it.
I'd love to do an interview with you on our channel as well.
Oh, heck yeah, let's do it. We could talk about the good old days when I didn't play Magic and have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we'll ask you. So, what were you doing in 1993? Well, I was having lunch, and it was fun. It was a good meal.
You said it was Ravnica is when you started?
Yeah, no, RTR, dude, 2013.
Oh, gosh.
Right when M13 cycled out. Yep.
We'll go through every year of Magic and ask him what he was doing in that year.
Yeah. We should do.
1993, and then he'll tell us what he
In
was doing
93,
there.
I think I was in second grade. So
97, Visions is printed. Where were you?
I was learning the alphabet. I was learning what alpha and beta meant.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, yeah, hit me up. That would be cool. But otherwise, everybody go sub to their channel, Unhinged Magi. I will link to it when I forget and then somebody reminds me in a comment, as is the norm on my channel.
Yeah, the internet will tell you when you're wrong.
Yes, they like to do that.
If my prepper channel gets big enough, I'm just gonna have like the 48 other hour survival channel with like you guys, like Perp, and like whoever else I could rope into this nonsense, and we'll all just go survive in the woods for like 2 days.
There you go. Play Magic.
Okay, everybody leave a like on this video. If this video gets 10,000 likes, they'll do it. That's contractually binding. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks a lot, Des.
You bet. I'll see you guys next time.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.